Hey guys, it's Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? So, for today's video, as you might remember, very recently there was a new insider flight for Halo Reach on MCC for PC. More specifically, it was called the Fire Flight because it lets you test out Firefight for Halo Reach on PC. But one of the interesting things about this flight was that it also introduced the graphical settings for the game, which MCC on PC has three settings you can choose from. So from worst to best, you have your performance setting, which is the low setting, original, which is medium setting, and also the closest to the Xbox 360, and then you have the enhanced setting, also the high setting, which is probably what's going to be the closest to the Xbox One enhanced version of this game when it does come out on Xbox One as well. But yeah, so the point of this video will be to compare the three graphical settings and see what the difference is between the three of them. So starting with the enhanced setting, also the high setting, this is running in 4K 60 FPS, and now we're switching over to the medium setting, and as you can see, it's not a huge change in difference, but I'll explain the differences later. For now, I'll just let you guys watch each graphical settings for a little bit, and then after that we'll do our more detailed comparisons and point out the differences. But before I really get into the comparison, I do want to mention that I am running this on a Core i7-8700T with 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM and an RTX 2060. And with that kind of hardware, I can run this game at 4K 60 FPS without the hardware breaking a sweat. So you don't need super powerful hardware to run Halo Reach on PC. In fact, I've had another PC I tested this on, and it has a GTX 1050 for the graphics card, and that one, the 1050, can even run Halo Reach at 4K, but at 30 to 45 FPS. And I'm sure if I dropped it down to 1440p or 1080p, it'd be a solid 60 FPS. And that's just with mid-range hardware. So yeah, don't worry if you don't have a super high-end PC. You'll be able to run this on most modern PC hardware. But anyways, back to the comparison. So we are now at low settings, or performance settings, and you're probably thinking you don't really see much of a difference. They all look pretty much the same to you. Well, there definitely is a difference, and if you look in the distance at those rocks on low settings, it is in very low detail, and then we switch to original, it's a little bit better, and then at high settings, everything looks great. So that is basically the main differences, the biggest noticeable difference between the three settings. It's stuff in the distance, the LOD stuff. On low settings, a lot of stuff in the distance like rocks and trees and plants, or even the ground textures, they'll look at pretty low detailed, maybe not even rendered in, or pretty low poly stuff. But at high settings, everything in the distance will look very crisp and clear and fully rendered at maximum detail levels in the distance. While original is what you probably remember from the Xbox 360 version. But yeah, that's basically the differences between the three. Now that you're aware of those differences, let's take a look one more time. So let's take a look over here at low settings in the distance. See those rocks? Low detail, low poly, and then switch to medium or original, a little bit better, and then switch to high and enhanced, perfectly rendered, crystal clear, everything is there. So now you can probably see the differences between the three. Not to mention the lighting differences and the even the stuff up close, the details when you look at them side by side or back to back. Up close, things are much more clearer or sharper and better detailed. But it's not a huge drastic differences for the stuff up close. 343 did a pretty good job of keeping everything consistent, and that means if you don't have really great PC hardware, if you have to play on performance mode or the lowest graphical settings, don't worry, you're not going to have a significantly degraded experience. I mean, things in the distance won't look as great, but overall, things will look pretty good, because like I said, at first glance you probably won't notice a huge difference between the three modes until I pointed out the stuff in the distance. The only issue that might come up is if your graphics hardware is really low power and you have to run at a lower resolution and at low details, because at that point you'll definitely notice a huge amount of degradation. But running at higher resolutions, it should look fine for you. But yeah, so hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and if you found it to be interesting, make sure to leave a like as always. Leave your thoughts and comments. Anything else for me to check out or look into, just let me know, and I'll do my best to look into it when I get a chance. But other than that, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys.